become friends with school shooters. I've seen it. Look.
J.D. Vance's dominating debate against Tim Walz. Welcome to Hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. The recent vice presidential debate between Senator J.D. Vance and Governor Tim Walz gave us a stark contrast between two very different visions for the future of our constitutional republic. This debate wasn't just a political contest, it was a moment where Vance shined, showing why Donald Trump chose him as his running mate for the 2024 election. I think it's time for us to go right. Now let's set the stage. The debate was hosted by CBS anchors Norah O'Donnell and Margaret Brennan. The ground rules were clear. The moderators would not fact-check the candidates. Instead, the two candidates were to fact-check each other, providing a platform for an open exchange of ideas. However, the moderators quickly broke this rule, which added fuel to some of the most controversial moments of the night. Over the course of the 90-minute debate, topics like immigration, the economy, abortion, gun violence, and climate change were discussed. Both candidates sparred, but Vance dominated, especially when the focus turned to policy specifics and the current administration's failures. J.D. Vance struck early. One of the earliest, most telling moments of the debate came when Governor Walz attempted to pin the blame for Iran's nuclear advancement on Donald Trump. Vance responded with a blistering retort, quote, "Who has been the vice president for the last 3.5 years? And the answer is your running mate, not mine." This quick, decisive response set the tone for the rest of the debate. Vance was not there to let Walz rewrite history or to shy away from pointing out the obvious failures of the Harris administration.
We have to remember that for years in this country, Democrats protested the results of elections. Hillary Clinton in 2016 said that Donald Trump had the election stolen by Vladimir Putin because the Russians bought like $500,000 worth of Facebook ads. This has been going on for a long time. And if we want to say that we need to respect the results of the election, I'm on board. But if we want to say, as Tim Walz is saying, that this is just a problem that Republicans have had, I don't buy that.
Governor.
January 6th was not Facebook ads.
Meanwhile, moderators broke their own rules. What was supposed to be a rule-driven debate soon turned into something else. Margaret Brennan, one of the moderators, stepped in to fact-check Vance on immigration. When Vance raised concerns about illegal immigration overwhelming towns like Springfield, Ohio, Brennan interrupted, stating that Springfield had a large number of Haitian immigrants with legal status. She attempted to dismiss the claims, but Vance wasn't about to let it slide. He pushed back, explaining that the CBP-1 app had made it easier for illegal immigrants to gain legal status, an issue tied to the administration's failure to secure the border. At this point, CBS News made the questionable decision to cut off Vance's microphone, silencing his response mid-debate. Brennan appeared to enjoy the moment, told Vance, quote, "The audience can't hear you because your mics are cut." It was a moment that clearly revealed an attempt to control the narrative rather than allow for a fair discussion. This is where opinion intersects with fact. The moderators did not uphold the rules they established at the onset, leaving the audience with a biased view of the immigration debate. Plus, it was probably the biggest soundbite, so it just backfired on them.
Thank you, Governor. And just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status.
Right.
temporary protected
Well,
status.
Margaret,
Nora?
but
Thank you.
Senator, we have so much to get to.
Margaret,
Thank you,
I think it's
Nora.
important
We're
because
going to turn out of the
debate-
economy. Thank
Margaret,
you.
the rules were that
The
you guys
economy,
weren't going to fact check. And since you're fact checking me, I think it's important to say what's actually going on. So there's an application called the CBP One app where you can go on as an illegal migrant, apply for asylum or apply for parole, and be granted legal status at the wave of a Kamala Harris open border wand. That is not a person coming in, applying for a green card and waiting for 10 years. That is the facilitation of illegal immigration, Margaret, by our own
Thank you, Senator, for
leadership.
describing the legal process. We have so much to get to, Senator.
Walz's China blunder. Another key moment came when Walz was pressed on a false claim he had made about being in China during the Tiananmen Square massacre. Walz had previously claimed to have witnessed the event firsthand, but when confronted, he admitted to, quote, misspeaking. His backpedaling did little to restore his credibility, and Vance, capitalizing on the moment, highlighted how such a significant misrepresentation should raise questions about Walz's trustworthiness. This wasn't just about a gaffe. It was about the integrity required for someone inspiring to be vice president. Meanwhile, sympathy and strategy. J.D. Vance's sharp wit and strategy were on full display when he likened Walz's debate defense to playing whack-a-mole. Vance argued that Walz had to deny Donald Trump's successes like raising take-home pay and reducing inflation, while simultaneously defending Kamala Harris's poor economic record, which has left everyday Americans struggling with rising costs of gas, groceries, and housing. This back and forth illustrated the stark contrast between the Trump administration's accomplishments and the failures of the current leadership. Vance didn't just criticize, he offered a clear vision of how things could be better under a new administration. Meanwhile, Walz's cringe-worthy moment on gun violence. One of the more bizarre moments came during the discussion on gun violence, where Walz made the puzzling claim that he had, quote, became friends with school shooters. This comment raised more than a few eyebrows. While empathy is important, Walz's statement seemed wildly out of touch with the seriousness on gun violence in America. Pollster Frank Lutz went so far as to call it the worst line in the 2024 debate. This moment served to highlight the disconnect between Walz's rhetoric and the reality of the issue at hand. And with this is the aftermath. Leading into the debate, the betting odds were not in J.D. Vance's favor. Polymarket, an online betting platform, gave Walz a 70% chance of winning the debate. But by the end of the night, the narrative had flipped. Post-debate polls showed Vance as the clear winner by a margin of 73 to 27%. And this dramatic shift in public opinion reflected the strength in Vance's arguments and his ability to effectively counter Walz's points. And I noticed on the news and on TV today, on all those left news shows, programs, they did not say one peep. They did not admit that once Vance won. They acted like a debate didn't even happen. So we know Vance won. Now, Trump's reaction. Donald Trump, as expected, was thrilled with the running mate's performance. On Truth Social, Trump repeatedly posted praising Vance's command of the debate. One stand-up post read, J.D. Vance just crushed Tampon Tim with the facts. America was great when I was president, and we will make America great again. This show of support only solidified Vance's position as a strong contender alongside Trump. Overall, it's a win for Vance in the Trump campaign. In the end, Vance's performance demonstrated why he was chosen to run alongside Donald Trump. His ability to stay focused on the issues that matter, immigration, the economy, and the failures of the Harris administration, resonated with voters. Walz, on the other hand, struggled to maintain his credibility, especially when forced to confront his falsehoods about China and his confusing stance on gun violence. As we look ahead, it's clear that this debate has reinforced the vision of a stronger, more secure America under a constitutional republic. J.D. Vance's commanding performance not only highlighted the shortcomings of the current administration, but also laid out a path forward, one rooted in liberty, economic strength, and in securing our nation's borders. That's all for now. Stay tuned to #GoRight with Peter Boykin, where we continue to stand for truth, liberty, and the Constitution. Peace. God bless everybody.